Tell me what your full legal name is, if you would.
I'm appellation known as, all capital letters, Drew James Pelto, with a common law copyright as a sui juris, human as a non-citizen, a not American national. Do you want my copyright on this? Do you want me as a human or me as a sui juris, non-citizen national? Honest to God, I'm not even on drugs anymore. I wasn't sick. The only reason.
Hold on.
No. Today, we've got something you almost never see in a courtroom. A sovereign citizen who actually wants an attorney. Seriously, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Usually, these cases start with someone insisting they don't need a lawyer because the court has no authority over them. But this defendant somehow wants legal representation while still arguing that the law doesn't apply to him. It's a combination you don't see every day. The even crazier part? He just cannot stop talking. His attorney is constantly trying to get him to slow down and let the hearing move forward, but every time the judge asks a simple question, it turns into a long speech. You can already tell the judge has dealt with arguments like this before. So what do you think? Can someone reject the legal system while asking that same system for legal help? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy real courtroom breakdowns, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's jump into the hearing.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you today?
Not too bad. Feeling a little rough, sore from being in a holding cell 3 days, but other than that, I'm okay.
All right, let me call your matter so we're on the record, please. People of the state of Michigan versus Drew James Pelto, 247819 SM. Mr. Pelto appears from the Dickinson County Jail. Counsel at first appearance is Abby Anderson, who appears via video Zoom. And the prosecution is not here today of their own choosing. Mr. Pelto, before we went on the record, indicated he could hear me adequately and he was all right other than being sore from being in the holding cell for 3 days. In respect to the matter then, Mr. Pelto, I do have an advice of rights here with your signature. I do see it looks like the copyright insignia. I know that we have discussed the issue of the sovereign citizen in the past. Mr. Pelto, can you tell me what your position is today, please, after telling me what your full legal name is, if you would?
Okay, I'm appellation known as, all capital letters, Drew James Pelto, with a common law copyright as a sui juris, human as a non-citizen, a not American national. That's defined in the United States Code. I'd like to have my lawyer finish talking. She told me not to talk unless she could talk first.
Now things get even more confusing. The defendant starts describing himself as a non-citizen American national and begins using a series of legal phrases that leave just about everyone scratching their heads. His attorney looks like she's trying to keep up while also making sure the hearing doesn't go completely off the rails. One thing you'll notice in a lot of sovereign citizen cases is that defendants often rely on their own interpretations of legal terms, believing certain words or phrases change how the law applies to them. The courts, however, almost never accept those arguments. The judge stays focused on the actual legal issues instead of getting pulled into a debate over terminology. At the end of the day, the court isn't deciding political theories. It's deciding whether the defendant followed the law. Let's see where this goes.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have discussed these matters with Mr. Pelto. First, he agrees to be referred to as Mr. Pelto for purposes of these hearings. We have gone over both the advice of rights for misdemeanor and bond violation. He indicated he understood and signed both. As to the allegations, we went over the maximum penalties. We would waive the formal reading. He is tendering not guilty pleas and requested an attorney. Ms. Mashik-Lasala has assigned Nancy Schaub to represent him.
All right, very well. As indicated by Ms. Anderson, Mr. Pelto has agreed for purposes of his criminal prosecution to be referred to as Drew James Pelto. His position in respect to how he should be recognized legally has been stated for the record and is preserved for the record, as well as stated on the advice of rights form concerning both the general misdemeanor advice of rights. Although the bond violation advice of rights doesn't so indicate, the court will recognize his position for purposes of both advice of rights. Concerning the matter then, is this a good mailing address for you, Mr. Pelto, on River Street in Niagara?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm just trying to move back into Michigan. So I've been working, and that's the address that I use because that's my domicile. I always return to every day or once a week or whatever. Because the Michigan residents, I'm not even sure. I would not like to talk about that in court, but I'm trying to move back into Michigan. I'm just having a heck of a time doing it.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do then, Mr. Peltola. Over there. Let's see if I have one in my file first. Ms. Anderson, I don't see a waiver of extradition. It sounds like he's going to need to go back and forth to Wisconsin, and we'll address that momentarily. In respect to the matter, though, Mr. Peltola, there is a waiver of extradition form over there at the jail. I'm going to have you sign that if you need to go into Wisconsin as part of this. In regard to the matter, then, what?
How do you want me to sign this? If you want my copyright, do you want me sui juris, just so you understand, like I wasn't trying to harm you or any other woman?
Go ahead.
Do you want my copyright on this? Do you want me as a human or me as a sui juris non-citizen national?
I just want your signature and the date, and whatever you want to put in addition to that is fine with me.
All right, thank you. Can I have a pen?
This is where things really start to contradict themselves. The defendant keeps insisting the court has no authority over him. But every few moments, he turns to his attorney for advice and asks her to speak on his behalf. That's what makes this hearing so unusual. If you're arguing that the court has no jurisdiction over you, it's hard to explain why you're relying on the court-appointed legal process to protect your rights. The judge doesn't get distracted by the speeches. Instead, the hearing keeps moving toward the actual issues that matter. And as the defendant continues talking, he starts making statements that may end up helping the prosecution more than they help himself. Sometimes the biggest mistake in court isn't what you're accused of. It's saying too much. Let's keep watching.
Your Honor, while Mr. Peltola is signing that, we did discuss the waiver of extradition. He just wanted that answer clarified prior to signing, but he is aware of what the waiver of extradition is.
Very good. Thank you. All right. I'll enter not guilty pleas on behalf of Mr. Peltola. Ms. Anderson indicates that he's qualified, and he is being assigned by MIDC. Ms. Schaub, we're going to set bond violation hearing. We might as well do the pretrial at the same time. And a jury trial as follows.
You want the jury trial within 20?
Yes, just to be safe.
Okay. Pretrial conference and bond violation hearing on February 21st at 1:45 p.m. Jury trial March 8th at 9 a.m.
All right, you'll get these dates in writing, Mr. Peltola. In respect to the waiver of extradition, then I want to go over it with you briefly as well.
All right, cool. I can wait. You want me to stop filling this out?
Really, all you need to do, yeah, go ahead. You finish, and then I'll go, and then I'll talk. You let me know when you're ready.
I'll just sign it real quick on the bottom of it, and they can take care of the rest of it. I'll sign it properly. The bottom law might be wrong. It's been a while since I've read the Unified Court, but I believe this is right. I signed it for you correctly. So.
All right. Perfect. All right. If you give that to the jailer, Mr. Peltola, I want to go over with you what it means to sign that waiver. I know we've done this before, but I'll just refresh your memory. And let me start by saying, so long as you come back to court voluntarily for all your court appearances, this does not become relevant. But if you don't come back to court, let's say, for example, you stayed in Niagara or somewhere else like that, normally you're entitled to what's called an extradition hearing before you are returned to Michigan to fight the charges that you didn't come back to court for. Yes. Under an extradition hearing umbrella, you have the right to an open court hearing. You have the right to have a lawyer at that hearing. And if you're indigent or without funds, one is assigned for you. The purpose of an extradition hearing allows you to challenge the legality of your arrest and return to Michigan. For example, you could demand issuance and service of a Michigan governor's warrant for your arrest. You have the right to obtain a writ of habeas corpus. Like I said, all to challenge the legality of your arrest and return to Michigan. When you sign a waiver, what?
I said I won't resist, man.
I'm just explaining to you what that document is that you're signing, okay, for the record. That's all. I'm not suggesting, implying, or anything else. I'm just explaining, all right?
Thank you.
All right. So when you sign that waiver, then what that means is, and like I said to start with, so long as you come back to court, everything is hunky-dory or everything is all right. But if you don't come back, when you sign that waiver, you have given up your right to that type of a hearing that I just explained. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So that's what that means. So when I'm setting bond, I need that form back because I'm going to do the following in respect to your bond. And this can cover both the bond violation and the underlying charge of disorderly. All right. First off, you must sign a waiver of extradition as a condition of your bond. So long as you do, you can go back and forth between Michigan and Wisconsin for residency, court appearances, family visitation. If it expands beyond that, talk to your lawyer first, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You are not to purchase, possess, or consume alcohol or non-prescribed controlled substances. You must submit to random PBTs and drug screens as a condition of your release. Don't go into businesses that sell alcohol for use inside, such as bars and taverns. Do not engage in any assaultive, threatening, harassing, or intimidating behavior towards any person while you are on bond. All right, so you are in one of those unique positions, Mr. Pelto, where you have come before the court for your arraignment. Already behind you, or what you're being arraigned on, is both the underlying charge and a bond violation. So usually people will have an underlying charge and then whatever, week 2, 3 later, they come back with the bond violation. And when people are arraigned, I always give them a talk and tell them that if you come back with a bond violation, you're going to make it really hard for me to say, gee, I should let you back out into the community again. You, however, have not had that talk. You are having it today, and you are having it on both the underlying charge and the bond violation.
Now the conversation shifts to bond. The defendant already has a bond violation on his record, which makes this hearing much more important than it might first appear. When someone is released on bond, the court is placing trust in that person to follow the conditions that were set. If those conditions are violated, judges often become much more cautious about granting another opportunity. The judge carefully considers whether the defendant can realistically follow court orders going forward. That's the difficult balance in hearings like this. Courts want people to remain free while their cases are pending whenever appropriate, but only if they believe those conditions will actually be respected. The judge has to decide whether another chance is justified or whether custody is the safer option.
So my pep talk is this, Mr. Pelto. I'm going to set the bond accordingly and give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you come back in here with another violation, I'm going to say, gee, Mr. Pelto, I had the talk with you and you went out and did the same thing I told you not to do. So I'm telling you, don't violate your bond and make me have a reason to keep you in custody pending resolution of your case. I'll set your bond right now at 1,000 PR. That's on both the bond violation and the underlying charge. They're going to let you back out, Mr. Pelto. Don't go back out and start drinking and do this again because, like I said, you'll leave me no choice. All right?
Oh, Your Honor, honest to God, I'm not even on drugs anymore. I wasn't sick. The only reason.
Hold on.
Nope.
I can see Miss Anderson almost doing cartwheels back there. She does not want you to talk until you have a chance to talk to your lawyer. Is that right, Miss Anderson?
That is correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Pelto, do you understand? She wants you to talk to your lawyer before you tell me anything, all right?
Yes, I understand, Ms. LaCost, or Judge LaCost.
Thank you, Mr. Pelto. We will see you soon. Your bond will come over, your writing dates, your lawyers. Make sure you call her when you get out and, have a meeting with her. All right, Mr. Pelto?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, anything else on this file then, Miss Anderson?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good day, Mr. Pelto.
You as well.
Thank you.
As the hearing wraps up, the defendant almost creates another problem for himself. Sometimes defendants try so hard to explain their situation that they end up making statements that raise even more questions. It's a reminder that in court, every word matters. The judge remains patient throughout the hearing, allowing both the attorney and the defendant to be heard before making a decision. What makes this case memorable isn't just the sovereign citizen arguments. It's the contradiction. On one hand, the defendant insists the legal system has no authority over him. On the other, he's asking that very system and his attorney to help protect his rights. That's a difficult position to reconcile. So what do you think? Should the judge have given him another chance despite the bond violation, or had he already shown he couldn't follow the court's rules? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy real courtroom hearings, legal analysis, and sovereign citizen cases, be sure to subscribe to Courtroom Chronicles for more real judges, real defendants, and real courtroom moments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.